Hi everyone, I'm Kat and I'm the Outreach Coordinator at Ontario Streams. Ontario Streams is a charity that is trying to fix up all of our local rivers and wetlands here in Ontario. In Ontario, we are very lucky to live right near the Great Lakes. They are the largest freshwater system in the whole world. This fresh water is essential for humans and all living things. Today we are going to be talking about one of those living things, and that is Atlantic salmon. They are one of over 150 different kinds of fish that we find here in the Great Lakes. Atlantic salmon go through many changes in their life cycle as they go from an egg to an adult. When we think about humans, when we are babies, we just look like teeny tiny humans. However, with different animals, things like frogs, butterflies, and Atlantic salmon, they look different than their adult form. As an egg, Atlantic salmon are bright orange and about the size of a green pea. Once those eggs hatch, we call them alevin. And alevin are about 1 centimeter long, and they are very small, of course. And as a baby, they are very scared of things like being eaten by other bigger fish. Because these alevin are so small and so scared, and they don't have adults like we do to keep them safe or feed them, they hatch with basically a built-in fridge. This is called a yolk sac, and it has all of the nutrients that these little fish need to get them through the first 6 months or so of their lives. This way, they can just hide in the gravel and eat all of these nutrients in their built-in fridge until they are big enough to go off and catch their own food. Once they fully absorb that yolk sac, we call the little baby salmon a fry, kind of like a French fry, about the same size as a skinny little French fry, about 1 inch long or so. And at this point, they can go find their own food. As they keep growing, they start to develop some new colors and patterns on them, and at that point we will call them a par. Here is when they start to develop a lot of camouflage so that they can hide better in their rivers. They will continue to keep catching their own food, and they will keep growing until we get to a stage called the smolt. This is the point where they will begin their migration. A migration is that big journey that some animals make. We think about things like birds and butterflies who fly south in the winter to stay warm. But in this case, the salmon are now looking for more food. So they will go from these freshwater rivers out to a bigger body of water. Here in Ontario, they will swim out to Lake Ontario, and that will be their ocean, where it's full of lots of more food for them to eat and keep growing. Once the Atlantic salmon have reached their full size, the adults will swim back to the freshwater rivers where they started their lives, and that's where the adults will start their family and begin the life cycle all over again. Now that we know more about Atlantic salmon, let's think about ways that we can help the nature around us. Using our 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle, is really important for helping the environment. We can think about reducing by bringing a litterless lunch. That means a lunch that has very little garbage. None of us want to be litter bugs, and a litter bug is someone who puts garbage into nature. It's also a really good idea that if we see garbage in nature that we pick it up as long as we're with an adult and it's safe. It's also important to save water. The water that comes out of the taps in our homes is from the environment. So when we have the water on, we want to make sure that we really need it. When we're brushing our teeth, we can turn off the tap and then do all of our brushing and then turn it back on again to rinse. We also want to be thinking about saving energy and turning off the lights when we're not in the room. Hopefully today you've learned a lot more about Atlantic salmon and how we can help them and how you can work with Ontario Streams to try and make the environment even better for everyone. So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you continue to watch the rest of the series of these videos.